All right, Erwin, I'm so glad to be talking to you. I know you've been absolutely an animal in the Discord and been very active with the conversation with the community. So appreciate you driving the message forward. Great connecting with you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me tonight. Really appreciate that you reached out to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we're starting to build a community. It's very evident who is interested in the long-term success and who's having the most fun. You're very much at the top of the list there, so I was really eager to get your perspective on how the project's going and where you think we go from here. Like I mentioned in some past discussions, I'd like to get a broader group together. It sounds like we may be doing that in the Discord. So having like an audio channel where everyone can be interacting with, or have maybe like a standing, meeting, like a players only meeting where people can connect. But for now, just trying to take the pulse of what's going on out there. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Could we maybe start by just introducing yourself in terms of, when and how you found out about ASM, and then maybe did you initially find the AFA game more appealing, or the brain and the AI part of the project more appealing?
Yeah, sure. No, so I'm actually quite new to NFTs. I think the majority of the community is new to it, but yeah,
Hmm.
I think I came across of NFTs around March this year,
Okay.
where I'm actually used to more familiar with crypto trading and
Hmm.
Bitcoin and Ether, and yeah, that's the way I rolled into also NFT business. It is quite close to my heart. I'm trained as an IT consultant, so I'm a technology
Okay.
background. So this is close to my heart, obviously. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
following all those trends. And yeah, ASM in specific, I'm not sure how that trigger came. It should absolutely via crypto Twitter, or
Yeah.
another link via a friend of mine that referred me to ASM. But it was really triggered about the white paper, how complete it was, the story.
Yeah.
As a IT consultant, I really saw the deeper story behind it, and that the abstract application of it, and that you can apply it into multiple businesses. So yeah, that was
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, in the NFT space? Well, first, like you mentioned, I think many of us got involved with crypto initially, and then there's this sort of subculture of NFTs, and it's one of those things that just immediately clicks in your brain. You're like, oh yes, that resonates with me, absolutely. And then,
yeah,
like you mentioned with ASM, it's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly where and how it popped up on your radar. I think a lot of people are in the same boat where
yeah.
it was just like a fortunate circumstance to have stumbled across the project.
Yeah, the triggered also. I think they had a really unique story. Yeah, most
Yeah.
of the NFTs, and again, I really appreciate them all. And people are spending so much time and money in setting up these projects and
Yeah.
building communities around it. But this was another story. This was not the default NFT project with a new profile picture or type of project, which is
Hmm.
nothing wrong, although. But this is a really deeper application. And yeah, as a consultant, I really appreciated that, and I wanted to know more about it, start following it, download it, started buying. I was also not at the first minter, unfortunately. I just came too late, I think,
Okay.
because I bought it quite cheap at I think 12 ethers cent. So
Okay.
that was yeah, that was good entry if you look to the price right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
it
great
was more
price.
the background story. There was not much shared also at that time. I think
Right.
the white paper was there. There was some leaks there, but not the artwork that we see today and the configurator, which is really mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been really special. I'd love to talk about the unboxing. How has your experience been this week? Are
Yeah.
you over the moon? Are there?
No, I learned a little bit from previous projects that
Uh-huh.
I really I was eager to open it, but I said hold your horse and wait until next day,
Yeah.
see how the first people go, if it all goes smooth, and all those gas wares that were also over the place.
Right.
In my time zone, it is still, I'm always around 70 or 90 Guai, and so that's good for me.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it was amazing to follow the rest of the team that was already unboxing, seeing what people got first.
Mhm.
Yeah, the first releases were there. So yeah, it was cool. Also
Yeah,
being
that
part of that Sunday night. That cool.
right. Yeah, it didn't it feel like everyone was kind of getting together. It's kind of like it felt like a little bit like a party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But not a crazy party. Yeah? I've been also in other discords. That is some discords they need to really pause the chat, and it is really crazy, and people are
Mhm.
still. I have the feeling also that it is here more a slightly different community of people looking other
Yeah.
things in a project are more yeah, down to earth also maybe a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. That's been one of my observations as well. Is it definitely attracts a unique audience. You know, the community that's being built to me seems like the perfect blend of left brain and right brain people
Hmm.
that kind of have that intersection of love the art, but also love the concept of something that's beyond just, as they would say, like a flathead PFP project. So it's
Yeah.
exciting to see it be so complex. And yeah. So have you opened the boxes that you have,
Yeah.
or are you
Yeah.
making your way through it, or you haven't started?
No, no, no. I've opened them.
Mhm.
I'm not a whale in this project. I had two boxes, an
Yeah.
original and a rare, and I was lucky. I had a
Uh,
gold one. I had two zombies, and I had some
great.
other very cool characters also with the cool traits.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a win in one of the community projects.
Yes.
So I was awarded with a nice morph.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've not configured them yet. So that is where I'm really looking now. And I saw also Studio was doing the same.
Hmm.
Now I'm a little bit strategizing what you meant about how does the team need to look. I have two teams. Am I
Hmm.
going to buy others? Am I going to drop a couple to get some liquidity and build and buy others?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the process where I'm in the middle to get confident and familiar with my own team and knowing how they relate to the rest. Because with all
Right.
honesty, they look all cool,
Yeah.
but what is special, and does special really matter at this stage? How they look, or is it more about training the brain and all these kind
Right.
of things? I'm wrapping my mind around.
Yeah, I think we all are. And
Yeah,
like you mentioned earlier, it's almost like we are, they only unveil just enough information for us to
yeah,
take that next step. You know, like
yeah,
same with me. I got involved with the project early. I didn't fully know what the game was going to turn out to be, and I don't think we still do, but
no.
it was enough to be alluring. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. Let's keep peeling the onion back.
But the
So
team is also wisely keeping quiet in case they feel that they come too close to something, or they want to release something with some information.
right,
Also about the football player construct, I had the feeling that I hit some sort of nail there from that I really saw it as a sort of old-fashioned football manager. I'm not sure how old you are, but
yeah,
I go back somewhat to the old-fashioned football managers
I
that you had
remember it.
and I really believe that some sort of concept that is similar, and I'm not
Mhm.
sure about the experience, but then they shared also the stadiums, and it all came very close at that time.
Yeah, I do want to revisit the competition submission that you won. That was
Hmm.
such a cool entry. How did you think of that? How did it? I guess if you could maybe just explain a little bit about what the entry was, and then how you made it
Yeah,
happen.
no, it was not. Yeah, in the end, it is not that complex. I think if it's more if you're used to using Photoshop or a little bit
Mhm.
experience with it, it was no rocket science. I think the other project, the last project, was even more complex. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was just merging the brain of ASM with an hand of a robot. That's what it felt to me. It is really an intersection. Also, again, where yeah, we step into a digital life where human is very important. So humanizing this whole digital experience, I think, is something what intrigues me. And yeah,
Yeah.
this image I had for myself as a sort of metaphor where everything came together, because also the background is basically all kind of blocks. Our cells is like a sort of
Hmm.
matrix. So there's you have the
Hmm.
blockchain in the middle. We are with the robot, and we both training and keeping the brain in balance. That's what I felt with it, and I was
Yeah,
lucky enough that I was, I think, for one of the first submissions, and yeah, then it also ripes a little bit, so you have a little bit
I
more
see.
time.
Yeah.
And I actually, somebody noticed that also and referred to it with other submissions, so I said, okay, I can hold my horse for a while, but no, this it's just my way of where I can contribute, because with all honesty, there are also in other discords where you need to getting people in via
Sure.
invites, and
Right.
yeah,
It's not the
that's
same. Yeah.
no, and I don't have that time also, with all honesty. Yeah, so I'm
Hmm.
active in the time that I can, but I have a very busy day job also, and I
Yeah.
had that where everything also comes together. So that, yeah, this was the only way where I can contribute a little bit more from an art standpoint,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I loved it. I'll have to
thanks.
find a link to it and figure out a way. Maybe in the show notes I'll post the link, because you had you put it on Twitter, is that right?
Also, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, it's
So
a Twitter,
I'll
but that's the official submission. But in the altered artistry channel, it's still there. And
okay,
I
great.
think now there's the new one, that the IFA Polix challenge. So that's also a nice one, where I think the latest submission is also very rocking there from
Yeah.
Chasing Tails. That the strip, that is amazing. That
Yeah.
is really
Chasing
nicely done.
Tails is
He's also nice.
yeah, it's so creative, so funny,
Absolutely. Yeah.
fantastic at extracting alpha, as we all know. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
David or Aaron are listening, watch out when she gets on stage, you know.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. No. So
Nice.
that's all. That's also very. It feels real as an, yeah, as an extension of digital family, where everything comes together. What you also
Yep.
meant is sort of, we are all invested in this party. It is not that
Hmm.
we. It is also an investment, but yeah, it comes here together. It is more than that only, and that
Yeah.
I like so a lot, actually.
Well, and you brought up a good point. Like in other discords, it's been contests around growing the Discord numbers, but this team has been very strategic in just finding the right audience, letting it grow organically, letting like-minded people get together, and it feels very natural. So I'm excited to see it evolve.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix, right? I say,
Yeah.
if you I also say, so in Dutch we say, if all the noses point in the same direction, that's then we're closing the company, because that's also bad. We should also we are a
Hmm.
reflection of the society, right? You have all kinds of people that energetic, or maybe people that are more adding other values to the community.
Hmm.
But in some cases, there's really that is it is too intense. People are only shouting, they're not communicating actually with each other, right? It's only sending messages in Discord so that you show that you engage, and it's actually no engagement at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that's very noticeable is you are always focused on that long-term view. Um, you know, I've seen you interact with people and very quickly reshift their focus to something that seems very tactical or very short-sighted, into reminding them of the big picture and what lies ahead. So really appreciative of your attention there.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that I'm a gatekeeper or that I want to point
No,
somebody in a direction, but I'm not sure who's all there behind. There are also sometimes people that try to make a quick buck, and that's
right.
sometimes a pity. You always have those in projects. What I've
Yeah.
seen, at least in the short period that I'm active, that. But yeah, helping them also seeing the bigger picture, and not yeah,
Yeah.
being too short-sighted on it. That because this is a real strategic game, I believe. You can play around
Right.
with it very smart.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think you had posted was around the genome matrix. It was it an MIT project that mapped?
Yeah, no, no, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That was today, right? No,
yeah.
that intrigues me. That's at this point. So in the beginning, it was how will that work with registering your own version? What type of
Hmm.
variations can you give? How is that configurator working? Uh, but now more and more that's exposed, that brain, yeah, that is really interesting, and more or less also how it looks, and what all the colors mean. And I'm wondering what the team have used there, and what their background is in this, so that we maybe can unravel that question.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued, and I think you are pulling on a thread, a really accurate one. Obviously, this is all speculation; none of us know. But
Mhm. Yeah.
You had mentioned that there is the mapping ability, and going back to the white paper, they mentioned the genome matrix and its importance in, deriving personality from brain to brain. So when we talk about this being a strategic game, that's really, in my opinion, the meat of the game, which is the gamification of AI that they keep referring to. And
Yeah.
so while we're all, easily able to identify rarity in terms of the AFA All-Stars as they get released on the secondary, I think what's going to be more fascinating is how you interpret each of your brain's genome matrices. And I know they made reference to it in the white paper. I have to go back and read it myself and see how that comes together. But they turned out so beautiful, and it's really going to be interesting to see what happens.
And I think only if that's generated, there needs to be a model behind it, because it is not only an animation that you see. That I don't believe. The visualization of of the ball actually, if you put that in a flat 1D or 2D picture, it can be a flat image, and there I think what they will use in game. And yeah, wondering what all these colors today mean. If you maybe, because I saw also somebody at the day that we released on Sunday night or something, that the first brains were there, and there was also a beautiful brain that was actually more expensive than others, and it was purchased also. I can look it up, but it was a
Yeah.
really interesting brain. I was really wondering, is somebody buying this now at this premium price because he sees something that I don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, that still can be the case. That it's not only about the characters, or
Right.
more in the capability.
Yeah. The first reaction that I had, other than pure awe, we did a quick video of unboxing with a couple of the community members, and I think my reaction was just stone cold face the whole time, because I was just blown away by what I was seeing. That it was only later that I got excitement and was reacting. But
Yeah,
one of the first thoughts that I had is that the brains look like a topographical map.
yeah,
So, I think if there's peaks and valleys, then that is going to help evaluate, what the brain looks like. So some of these brains just look full, very full.
yeah,
Others have,
absolutely.
kind of like
Colorful also.
valleys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. The colors
mine
too.
look. I made the mention actually. I have one brain that maybe looks not that healthy. Also has a
It's
couple of
dark.
black dark spots,
I
and
saw that. That was so funny. That's a funny
yeah.
comment.
So I'm a little bit concerned about that at this stage, but I have
Yeah.
one that looks much better, and yeah, let's
Well,
see.
yeah, I forgot that was such a funny note. I forgot to mention that. But I think for those scenarios where you don't have maybe the most magnificent or brightly colored or super long spiky brain matter, there's still the second layer, which is how do they play together. So
Yeah,
maybe you're going to be mining new brains and match those brains up with the two essentially Genesis brains that you have. And I'm really curious to see how the evolution in the gyms takes place for us
yeah.
to, because maybe you'll need to train a new brain and swap that in, and the gameplay is different. I don't know. It's fascinating. We'll see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. The training of the agents is something that, yeah, they can maybe do that by staking, and that it
Mhm.
trains out that way. But I've been in other projects also following that, and there they do it more by interacting and talking, and yeah, making it more smart in the way that you interact with your AI. So let's see. I'm not sure about that, and that's also not where my I'm not a specialist in that angle. But
Yeah.
I've built chatbots actually, and I think it is
Ah,
some sort of related to that yeah, to that workings of a chatbot.
so that's interesting. Because I know that we're all focused on, the initial game at hand, and that's going to be used as the entry, or on ramp for all of us to learn about AI models in more detail, and, the gamification of AI.
Yeah,
But obviously, many people are involved in the project either because they're interested in a DeFi, trading bot that they can use with their brains, or a chat bot. I know
yeah,
they've mentioned that chatbots are something that are probably going to come down the road a little bit later, just because human expectation interacting with a chatbot is so high that they want
yeah.
to make sure that
Today.
they get that right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's also very complex if they try to aim to give it a really natural experience rather than that it is a real taped conversation, what you see now often,
Hmm.
but really interacting, understanding the intent that somebody has. Also, when try to fool him, I think everybody that uses a chatbot today, first thing is what they try to hack it or to know which commands they need to give so that they're
Right.
redirected to a real support agent. So
Uh,
bypassing that chatbot is is been a
yeah.
game today.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. It's
But
something
it
that we
becomes
kind of
smarter
do.
and more smarter. They become
Hmm.
really good at that. We have I've got a couple of retailers that use the chatbot and not actually an interface with a talking person, but more really in chat. But that's
Hmm.
so precise and does so well in understanding your question, redirecting you quick to FAQs, if not in integrating your order information,
Hmm.
uh, checking that. That's really neat. And I actually surprised that they mentioned that it will be later on the roadmap, because I would say an profile picture talking,
Hmm.
using
Hmm.
that as a brand, as Sony
Hmm.
or another other big brand, using
Yeah.
that in a metaverse makes most sense to me.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I think that's really where our attention is going to go next. Obviously, everyone's preparing for the game release in Q1
Yeah,
2022. And, we're all waiting with bated breath to see what the Asto airdrop scenario is going to look like for us to accelerate, you know, enough brains for all of our characters. But to your point, um, they've said that the expansion of the ecosystem is reliant on people taking some of their external knowledge or other, third parties wanting to inject brains into new use cases. So I'm sure we're going to start to see things happening in parallel. Just because it's not released as a first party
no,
ASM branded project doesn't mean that other people are going to take their NFT that they own outright and run with it. Me personally, I'd have to learn a lot about AI models and gyms, and I don't have like a GPU farm. I never mined Ethereum or anything like that, so I don't have any of that like spare capacity laying around. But I know many people do, and I'm eager to see what they come up with.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in that either. I'm not planning to start mining anymore. I think my
Okay,
wife gets very angry with me if we do that again. At the
hot and
same time,
noisy.
my colleagues at the office don't like it anymore, because I
Okay.
took my miner to the office because
Oh,
there was an all-inclusive rental contract, so it didn't matter
yeah,
for the power. But
that's such a
no, it
great
was the
idea.
noise and the heat that comes out of it. It is amazing. But no,
Wow.
that's that. I would try it. I have a actually big game rig standing here
Yeah,
where my RTX video cards are active.
there you
They're
go.
actually unused, so
Yeah.
most of the
Well,
time.
there, I think that's one of the top initiatives, in my opinion, just from listening to the AMAs that the team has talked about, which is taking that idle compute power and putting it into action. So
Yeah,
I think you may have a head start.
yeah.
um,
And I
yeah.
think that would be not too complex. It's more,
Right.
I'm more wondering how we would connect a mining pool to the infrastructure of ASM. And mining a
Yeah.
coin, that on itself is there are a lot of tools, a lot of tutorials also for
Mm,
that's actually not so complex. I think a lot of people could do that, but
yeah,
keeping the machine up and running and continuously, because that is only when it becomes efficient and effective enough to
I
mine.
see.
If it runs all the time with
Okay.
at maximum speed, so yeah, but
Yeah.
let's see what the team brings for that mining. I'm
Right.
really interested in helping or sharing that knowledge. I think that can also be another in other areas, and also there the community needs to step up. That's what I raised also today. Is there maybe some neuroscientist or a brain expert that can help us unraveling what we're currently seeing
Hmm.
on in OpenSea? Because yeah, that's amazing.
That, yeah, yeah. I would love to revisit a conversation with you when they release the specifications around the AI modeling, and I know they're very eager to decentralize the gym. I don't know necessarily for AFA. I know they're trying to host that firsthand, just so that we have a really good experience out of the gates. But
Yeah.
I know that they're eager to. Their long-term vision is to decentralize any gyms that are launched thereafter. So
Oh,
once
and that
they
speaks
do
for the
that,
team, by the way, that they chose
yeah,
for that approach. Because, with all due respect, the unboxing was very smooth.
it
Even
was
sitting
great.
on the sideline, what I heard of people were amazing. The website was up and running. There were no big hurdles. I think that was more for people that had maybe their gas fees not fully installed properly or configured properly.
Hmm.
But at the same time, seeing all those characters flowing in the brains on OpenSea that went in after an hour. I think there were already 750 boxes opened.
Yeah.
So that was a very smooth experience.
Yep.
I've seen other projects where the website was not available, ledgers could not be connected, all kind of issues that they run into. So
Hmm.
I think that launch was very smooth, and yeah, that also says something about the team, quality of the team, and
Yeah.
why this all goes so smooth, and that it looks that great. Because I think I know from my background how difficult it is to make all these specific artworks for on characters, those animations on those brains.
That's crazy.
If you need to build that at scale as that they have been doing, that is an amazing work. That goes
Hmm.
months of preparation.
Hmm.
How professional they are in leaking the information and building
Right.
slowly instead of flowing everything. And yeah, that is
Hmm.
real. You see that there is a machine behind this project, which is that gives a really comfortable feeling, and also that makes me very eager to know what is in the future, what's ahead of us. And
I couldn't agree more. I'm right there with you. I agree to everything you just said.
yeah,
It's so accurate. Every experience we've had has just been top notch. And I think also as we're talking about the intersection of different types of people that the community attracts, many of them you see this is maybe their first NFT, and so to have such an amazing experience like the configuration tool is a real treat. And
I've still not seen any other project where that is possible actually on OpenSea,
yeah,
where
right.
you have all that enriched information, where you have the animation, where actually also you can, in a two-step rocket, basically you can configure and make your personalized
Yeah.
NFT and register that on the blockchain. That's really cool. And if you, as an IT boy, I know a little bit how complex the backend is, if in creating all these smart contracts where this is possible. And that's why we also have a slightly higher gas fee, because the contract is on itself more complex, is doing more stuff underwater on a blockchain.
Hmm.
So all
Yeah,
that's really, that's next level. This is
it's
next step.
crazy.
So that really good feeling for future applications, or yeah, how the gameplay will look like if it's really gamification like on a PlayStation. That I'm not
Right.
expecting, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. It definitely speaks well to what lies ahead. Very exciting stuff. Yeah. And one of the things that you mentioned was around who we would want to talk to. You mentioned polling the community for anyone that's like an analytic person or someone that
Yeah.
looks at big data. I actually posted in the Unity Discord in their machine learning channel to see if we could get anybody to come and talk to us, because your background in crypto and what to expect from a mining standpoint, that's super helpful for people to hear. If there's anyone that's in the gaming community, I would imagine that this project is going to encourage people to get into gaming and use some of those platforms like Unity for the first time. And that'll be
Yeah,
really exciting too.
this is real and decentralized organization. I'm not sure
Hmm.
where the team. What I understood is that the team is predominantly based in New Zealand,
Hmm.
but all
Hmm.
these capabilities across the world. Also, you need marketing, you need legal, you need creative, you need hardcore development. All this needs to come
Hmm.
together. People that keep the project managers around it. So that this really is a serious organization. And
Yeah. And
uh, interesting to see how open they are to plug in also external knowledge instead
yep.
of protecting that, or they really understand that this is a community that drives it also. And that I've seen that also making David making that statement a couple of times, that the community that makes a project like this. And yeah, they drive it obviously, but yeah, we
Right.
need to
Well, and to your point there, one of the things that they are continually repeating themselves is talking about the notion of being DAO first.
mhm.
So all of their actions are reflective of that. The openness, the amount of engagement and communication that David
Yeah.
has on a daily basis with us. and them trying to, set us up for success so that when it's time to hand the keys over, everyone's in a really healthy position to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's I'm very eager for the future there. And there are also a lot of smart people in Discord, and amazing to see how everybody helps each other, and how active they are also, even if they're smaller, and to split your characters across all your
Yeah.
specialties that you have.
Yeah. I haven't personally configured and locked it in yet. I'm leaving
Me
them
too.
as is for now. But maybe in the future, well, you and I will have to do a bit of gourmet accessory strategy, because I did pull a gourmet as well. And secretly, that was the one that I was really hoping to
Oh
get.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
was happy to see that. I'm
Yeah,
a
I'm
foodie at
not
heart.
really not sure, and I'm with honesty, I'm not in the game. I think I'm also not positioned. Maybe it is downplaying myself a bit, but it is not there to win actually, to be the
Yeah.
winner at this stage. It would be nice if you are good and you can win some games
Uh-huh.
that you earn more, but
Hmm.
it is. I don't think that I have the team yet, or the investment ready to select all the best
Yeah.
players. Because if you're there really for that purpose, yeah, then maybe you need the best players with the best traits. And
Yeah. We'll see how it unfolds. I want to be mindful of time so we can kind of, conclude here. But I know that they've mentioned that the level of skill, or the amount of time that you've put into training the brain, will get matched up with a comparable, challenger.
yeah,
So it's not like you're going to just get, slaughtered out in the arena. I think everyone's going to have a good experience. And
playing your own league.
yeah, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
that's awesome. That's awesome, and
yeah,
that's where we look forward to. Yeah, unfortunately, I have no primes or no bosses.
yeah.
So let's see. I think also they are more there to help you become better and quicker in your building your teams, or
Hmm.
helping others, even that people need to consume your trainer, or your and actually need to rent it, or to buy it from you in a particular sense.
Yeah.
That is where the whole ecosystem and the monetary system
Right.
comes also back in play. And
Yep.
that's also interesting to see how that whole finance part, how they gamify that in IFA here. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many, games within a game essentially that is
Yeah,
going to happen. So we'll see how it goes. Um,
absolutely.
with the last thoughts here, is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't? Anything you're excited about, or things that you feel like people are sleeping on?
No, not yet. Actually, no.
Yeah.
To be honest, no. That brain part, that is really that's next. I think those should that raising that question,
Hmm.
or other people need to have that question also. But we talked about it, so no, I have no special things. We will let's wait until the next phase of the game is released, and
Yeah.
after the game, the configurator. Let's wait for the new news of the team, and catch up soon.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you carving out some time. I know this is probably family time for you, so thank you, for sharing
Hobby
your
time.
passion. Hobby
Hobby
time.
time.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, man. Hey, thank you for your time, and hope to see you online soon.
Yeah, yeah, great talking to you. Take care.
Okay, man. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.